Front row next to the who's who, trying to build another Bobby doll screws loose. Name a rapper that got y'all Big Papa and push out Papa Bear, who I'm up for the year. Every summer I come out to what, but to make them disappear. Yo, what's up? It's Lil Majik. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing some of my goals that I have in mind for 2024. It's late, I know, but I don't believe in late starts though. Like, I don't plan on going anywhere. I don't plan on going to Mars. So today's a good day to start. I have some personal, career, and some finance goals that I'll be sharing with you, and a plan on how I plan to get there. Before we get started, if you're new, hi, I'm Lil Majik. I'm an illustrator, artist, Imagineer, and I make a comic called Swag Time that you can read on my website right now. Also, if you sign up to my newsletter, I'll also be sending out my 4-step webcomic making pipeline. It's super easy, so if you want to make your own webcomic, make sure you sign up to my newsletter. Alright, without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so at the start of the year, I didn't really have any goals. I don't think I started the year off, like, the calendar date on, like, the best footing. I really didn't have a chance to digest everything that happened the year prior, and I'm glad that I didn't force myself to sit down and make some goals that I knew were, you know, BS at the end of the day. I think around, like, March is a good time to be reflecting on your goals from January to March to make new ones. Who can make new goals at the drop of a dime? I didn't really have any goals at the start of the year, but my mindset around that wasn't the best either. Coming off of the last market that I did last year, it was Sacktown's finest market. It did not go that well. And when I was doing that market, I knew that it was going to be my last market for quite some time. And that market was back in November. During December, I was working crazy long hours. I work retail, and if you've ever worked retail, you know how those hours can get and how exhausting it can be, especially since, you know, it's Christmas season. And you know me, I'm always gonna keep me a couple jobs, so I had quite a few jobs I was going to. But really what put me in, not a negative, but just like not so enthused about the new year was not making the return at the markets, because markets are not cheap. The most I've ever paid to be at a market is upwards of $400. Since I've been in Sacramento, I know that they don't cost $400, but you know, you'd still like to make a return on your market. And for me not making that return, it just tells me that my branding wasn't all there. Like, I had the physical branding, like as far as how my brand looks, but I mean like what my brand stands on as far as business. And I mean not just selling a physical product, but like what actually am I selling? I used to get really confused and tell people, oh, I sell, you know, artwork and keychains and blah, 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 blah. But if you know anything about business, which I've been watching a lot of videos on business, I was going about it in the wrong way. And now that some time has passed, I feel like I'm in a better position, a better mind space to tackle this again. And the perspective shift that I had to make is that I'm not starting from scratch. I'm starting with 3 years of experience. When I look back at my camera roll on my phone, I look at the photos because I've documented this process. I'm nowhere where I used to be. I've learned and grown so much. Now I'm just in a place to say that I'm thankful that I know where I want to go and what I want to do, what I want to say. I didn't have any markets planned for 2024, so it really just allowed me to sit down and reflect and strategize and come up with a plan. And for me, that plan is mainly slowing down, because I noticed that I feel this urge to just go faster, 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 pump out more, pump out more, pump out more. But my quality of work when I do that really isn't the best. And I'm not interested in just pumping out stuff for the sake of pumping out artwork or content. I wanted to actually impact people and make a change on people's lives. So I have to go about that in a different way. And it can be incredibly frustrating to know what to focus on, because there's so many things that are out of your control. I was really frustrated because it feels like my success is in the hands of an algorithm. It's like, well, I can do all of this work and, you know, not be picked up by an algorithm, yada, yada, yada. So why even try? But the thing is, it's like, you'll never know if you don't try. And I don't want to be one of those people who are telling a story about a what if, shoulda, coulda, woulda. I want to be the person that did it, or the person that tried it and followed through with it. So slowing down and focusing on the things that I can control led me to making this video, because really all I can do is best align my actions with the goals that I have in mind. The rest is really out of my hand. Anything that happens after that, it happens or it doesn't. But I know with my work ethic, my ideas, my mind, I believe that this can happen, it can be done, and I want to document this process because I want my channel to be a resource for other artists to use. Because growing up, I did not have these resources readily available. I literally just had YouTube, and I want to be like an example in a way. You know, obviously everything may not work out for you the way it does for me. You're gonna have to find, you know, your own groove, your own drum pattern. But if I can help in any way, I want to do that, and I want my channel to be a resource. So yeah, let's get into some of the goals that I have for this year. Okay, so I have some finance, career, and personal goals, as well as a plan as how I'm gonna achieve these goals. For career and finance, I'm gonna lump these together because they kind of go hand in hand. And my main goal is to be able to cover my living expenses with creative work. Why? Because it's work that I know how to do, it's work that I'm willing to do, and I can help. People are looking for what I can offer. Even if I'm not selling directly comic books or my IP or anything like that, I still have a lot of skills. When I say people are looking for the skills that I have, I mean things like content creation, video editing, social media. Now that I've been at this for 3 years, when I do markets, I notice that a lot of the vendors are older, mainly like late 20s, early 30s and above. I'm usually one of, you know, the youngest people out there. And sometimes when you interact with people of a different generation, they may not know how to use social media. They don't know how to do email marketing or how to create all of the stuff that they need for their business. Like email templates, business cards that look right and that don't look like, you know, bad quality photos, or how to design stuff. They just don't know how to do it. But I do know how to do that. And I've done it for people before. I used to run my high school's animation page. I've always edited videos. I've always made YouTube videos and little movies in my backyard. So I've been doing this for a really long time. And there was a moment in time where I would literally walk into a store and people would be like, people want to hire me. That's how I got my job printing t-shirts at the mall. I was looking for someone to print my t-shirts and I was showing the guy what I did, and that's how I ended up, you know, being there. But this year I really want to establish myself as a working creative because this is what I do. I really don't want to do anything else. This is what I know how to do. And I'm helping people. People need teams. People need people like me. Specifically other business owners, because if you're a business owner, you know that there's so much stuff that you have to do, from coming up with the ideas to marketing to social media to growth, getting sales, putting together tables and outreach and all of this stuff. There's so much. You really do need a team when you're doing this, and I think that I fit easily and seamlessly into these spaces, especially when working with, you know, the older generation, because a lot of the times they don't know how to do it. They don't really want to learn how to do it. They'd rather just pay somebody else to do it. And, you know, that's where I fit in. So that was mainly like the more career and finance side. Another aspect of the career is building my online presence. One thing I know is that having an online presence can really affect your sales, not only online, but in person. I've done quite a few shows in LA, and the people who have online presences, they tend to do better than people who don't. And the thing is I've had my Instagram for quite some time, but I haven't been super active on them. Like, I share my work, but I'm not on it every day. And that's something that I would like to do. If I want to invite people to enjoy what I have to offer, whether it be my comic or t-shirts or anything like that, I want them to feel like they're a part of something, especially since the message that I have behind my comics and the message that I'm sharing with people, I would want people to feel like they're a part of a community, especially online. And something that I thought about last year was that I want my experience to be this really cool online thing that you just so happen to see in person as well. I think that has a really cool novelty effect to it. Like, I want you to think of a time of where you've seen something in person that you've only really ever seen online, but now that it's like in front of you, you're like, whoa, it's like this really cool magical item. And it's like, you have to try it now, because that you've only seen it online, now that it's right in front of you, you really do want to try it. I place such a heavy emphasis on the online part because that's where I was growing up. I've had a phone, or like, not a phone, but an iPod Touch since I was like 12. I didn't get my first iPhone until like high school. I place so much value on online spaces because, like I said, that's where I hung out. I had a hard time making friends growing up, so naturally you turn to the internet. And lucky for me, I wasn't groomed or anything. I have amazing friends that we used to play Pokemon all day with. So I know the impact that the internet can have on somebody because it had a really positive impact on me. I still hang out with these. I've known these people since I was 13 years old. I'm 22, about to turn 23. And even though we don't hang out every day, we still keep in touch with each other. And I really love that aspect of an online community. Even you don't have to be in touch with them every day, but you know they're still there. You know you can still interact with them, and you still do from time to time. And I think that is so beautiful. And another reason why I want to build my online presence is so that way I don't have to be out physically selling. A lot of the times I don't have a ton of help. I have my sister, but other than that, it's just us. And doing these markets is a lot of work. It's physically demanding. And yeah, if you've ever done a craft show or a market, let alone like a 1-day event, if you're doing like a 3-day to 5-day event, you will be exhausted. Each and every one that I've done, it's incredibly taxing on the body, especially if you don't have a lot of help. And being online will just allow me to reach more people in general. Another aspect of Swag Time Edit Story that I'm a little bit nervous about is community support. I don't know if y'all know, but I'm black, and you know, some black people, they just don't fuck with certain shit, and I don't want the success or whatever of my business to be dependent on my direct community, especially since, you know, I turned to the internet for a reason. I found my friends online. I found my community online because a lot of the times these people that I'm talking to were either rejected in their real lives for one reason or another. Either, you know, maybe they didn't identify with the certain beliefs of other people. Maybe they looked different, or maybe they were bullied, or maybe somebody is disabled and literally has nobody to talk to. Maybe they're locked in their house all day, or they just don't have support from the people around them. There's so many things as to why people are going online to find community. It's because, you know, sometimes we're just not around the best people. And I would love to cultivate a space where people feel safe, heard, felt, appreciated, because I know what that felt like to not have that, which is why I think online stuff is beautiful. I think it's worth something, and we see the impact that it has. Another reason why I want to build an online presence is because I want to make the videos I wish were on the internet. There are so many things that people don't talk about that are not on the internet, and the internet is an amazing resource. There's so much you can learn on the internet, and I don't mean to ramble, but one of my predictions for the future for every industry is that they're going to see an influx of young kids coming in that are better, because right now, because technology is so easily accessible and I want to say quite affordable for the most part, there are a lot of kids out there who have skills that are incredibly talented, arguably better than a lot of the adults who have been in the industry for a long time. I know within the animation industry, if you go on like online or anything like TikTok, you're gonna see like 7-year-olds drawing these amazing pieces, 7-8-year-olds, teenagers animating. I mean, I was one of those teenagers. I was a part of Sheldon High School's K9 Studios, and I was one of those teenagers that was just really good. I don't mean to brag or anything like that, but there are a lot of kids out there who know their shit when it comes to creating or whatever industry that they're in. And I think that it's going to hit a lot of industries hard, and they're not going to know what to do. The most recent example of this, which blows my mind, is that in Beyond the Spider-Verse, the sequel to Into the Spider-Verse, the Lego portion of that movie was animated by what, an 11-year-old? An 11-year-old in a huge blockbuster movie. Are you kidding me? People in industries are just not gonna know. They're not gonna know what hit them. I mean, right now we're seeing the collapse of, the 9-to-5 job. Nobody wants to work that. So I think we're gonna start seeing a lot of non-traditional routes, non-traditional ways of living, non-traditional ways of getting money, just non-traditionalness as in general. And if we zoom out for a bit and look at the world as a stage, the last time we had a major revolution was the Industrial Revolution, and now we're having a technological one. So nobody knows what these non-traditional routes look like. We got a glimpse of them with influencers and brand deals and like different ways of making money online, but really nobody knows what the life of an online creator is in different industries. So there's a bit of a gap. I also really want to tell stories and connect with others. I talked about this earlier, that I want my stories to have an impact on people, because I am talking to a certain select group of people. If you've watched this long, congratulations. But the group of people I'm talking to, I'm never gonna say it explicitly. I'm just not there yet, but I'm gonna need you to take a good look at my art and read in between the lines. Yeah, I just really want to build a strong community of creatives, like-minded people to just kind of like have a place on the internet to chill. I think that the internet is an amazing resource for connectivity, but I think that right now we're just using it in all of the wrong ways. Maybe not a good example of this is before the pandemic happened, or was it during the pandemic? I'm not quite sure. But remember when everybody decided that they were just gonna raid Area 51 and like hella people showed up? That's insane. That is the power of the internet. And I think that we can use it to really highlight certain aspects of people, make people feel seen, heard, and validated. And you can do that by telling stories online. And I think it's really amazing. And I think that right now we don't really appreciate the power of the internet. We all kind of, maybe not all of us, but majority of people kind of see the internet and technology as a bad thing, like, oh, it's rotting people's brains, yada yada yada. But that's because people are making content. People say that content is everything is content, but not everything is. I don't believe that. Everything is not content. Just because you can make something doesn't mean you should make something. I think that we're seeing that reflected in many different industries, especially in tech right now, which is why art is very needed in this moment, because it allows you to reflect and think about what you're making, why you're making it, who you're making it for. You have to answer all of these questions. I see it change people's lives all of the time, like the Keith Lee effect. I think it's just really interesting, and I think it's something that I want to explore by building an online presence. All right, moving on to some personal goals. One is I would like to move more. I used to ride my bike every day until I almost got hit by a car. So I think I'm just gonna opt to go to the gym. I want to build muscle and get right for the summer. I think that's really exciting, and it'll give me like another place to be other than, you know, work or my desk, and obviously like the health and mental benefits of working out. Another thing I want to do this year is to do more things outside. I talked about this a little bit in my other videos, but being an artist means you're kind of tied to a computer, and I really don't like that. So I'd really like to either invest in an iPad or just start bringing my sketchbook with me places and doing a majority of the work in my sketchbook, so that way when I sit down at a computer, I know exactly what I'm doing. I know exactly about how long it's going to take me. Just want to minimize my time sitting in front of a desk, because I mean, who wants that when there's outside, you know? I'm an outside person. I like to be outside. Another thing I want to do this year is clean up my eating, explore different kinds of food or cuisine. I started kind of meal prepping late last year, and I kind of liked it, but I want to try something else. And I want to learn at least how to cook, you know, a few good meals and have that in my arsenal, because why is cooking so difficult? Like, as an adult, nobody tells you how difficult it is to just feed yourself. Like, you have to think about all of the stuff that you already have to do in your day-to-day life, like going to work and like thinking about all of that stuff. And then let alone if you're a business owner, geez. And then you got to think about what you're going to eat, how you're going to eat, how long does it take to eat. You got to go get all of the ingredients. Like, oh my gosh, especially I'm a boy, so I wasn't really taught how to cook. So I only know how to make eggs and pancakes, and I burn pancakes it's bad. So I want to learn how to make some good meals that I can cook. I'm thinking about getting an air fryer because I think it's healthier for you than just fry. I'm not exactly sure what's going on with an air fryer. But them recipes do be looking good, and I mean, like, it's better than eating nothing or like ramen noodles or like fast food. I know that for sure. I want to start doing more of my hobbies this year, like crocheting, just making stuff. I used to just make so much stuff, and I have all of like the supplies still. I just kind of stopped because once you leave high school, you kind of just get thrusted into capitalism, and capitalism really isn't capitalism-ing recently with like inflation and all of that. I definitely had to give up some of my hobbies, but I still have some that, you know, are within reason, within budget. And I really want to get back into those and not just be so stressed about money in the future and all of that all of the time. I want to enjoy the things that I have. I want to enjoy the things that I make. I want to enjoy making things again. So doing things like playing Pokemon. Sometimes I feel so bad for playing video games because it's like, oh, if you're not making money, what are you doing? Blah, 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 blah. It's like, you know what? Fuck those kind of people. Like, the grind doesn't have to be on 24/7. Like, why can't I enjoy playing a little video game? Why can't I enjoy watching Steven Universe on the TV? I want to do that too. Not everything has to be about producing and output. I really want to not be so focused on that all of the time. All right, and this last one kind of goes hand in hand. It's like having more fun. Just having more fun, making everything more fun. I have a good way of making things really fun. I think I just add a special flair to everything. Some people call it annoying, but to me, I think it's like, well, if not this, then what is it then? Like, why would I want to be boring and basic when I can be, not boring and basic? Okay, so now we've reached the planning part. How will I reach these goals? In this video voiceover time-lapse thing, you're seeing me put it all together. I have a daily planner book. I have a monthly planner book. I have a calendar on my wall. I also have a cork board full of tasks that I do. So when I don't know what to do, I just walk over to this board. I've already brain dumped all of the tasks that I think I need to do. I just kind of take a sticky note and focus on that task. When I'm done, throw the sticky note away. Think of something else maybe, and replace it. And, just kind of do all of the tasks on that board. And once the board is empty, fill it up with some new tasks. And that way it's really digestible, and it's not like you just have this large body of work that you need to do. The way it's just by slowing down. Again, I think we think of things at a whole, at a large, but I think if we really look at the details and take it slow, step by step, you can get more done that way, and building that reputation of getting things done effectively, just showing up. Because really it is just showing up at the end of the day. Taking it month by month, week by week, day by day, and align myself with the goals that I have. Because again, that's all I can control, and that's all you can control too. I mean, literally that's all you can control. So there's no use in worrying or stressing about all the stuff that you can't control, because you know that you're in control, of yourself. Thanks for making it to the end of the video. If you have any goals for the 2020, okay. If you have any goals for the new year, let me know down in the comments below. If you like today's video, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button so that way you can be notified every time I upload a new video. Read my webcomic swag time on my website, lilmajik.com. Sign up for my newsletter so that way you can get that digital download so you can start making your webcomic this year. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!